So good morning, Firefly community. Thanks for joining us on this bright sunny day. Well, it's actually not a bright sunny day, is it? It's a bit overcast, but hey, look, we have the luxury of being at Burleigh Heads, which is fantastic. And I am here today, this morning, with one of our awesome volunteers, legend, local legend, urban legend.
Thank you.
Candice, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Really good?
Yeah, I'm
That's
really
good.
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Just
really
good?
good. No, really good. I'm really good as well. I'm excited. I'm excited to have a quick chat. Obviously, as part of our newsletter, we like to profile those people that are doing great things for other people, and good is always good. So tell us about some of the good that you do.
Okay, where to start?
At the beginning.
So a little background, I've been in the volunteering space since I was about 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought up in Zimbabwe, so my volunteering sort of journey started there.
Right.
I've always had a passion for people, planet and purpose, so navigated the ways to, I guess, early on I recognised how lucky and how grateful I was for what I had, and that there were so many people out there without. And growing up in an environment where I was in those experiences, volunteering has been a really big part of my life. So fast forward, moving to Australia when I was 17, I very quickly picked up opportunities to volunteer, and then through work opportunities and life, time to volunteer wasn't always there.
Right.
So I've had to, over the last few years, have a really good look at what volunteering sort of opportunities and avenues are best aligned with me.
Sure.
Because for me, I love to see the end result, the impact.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, just coming back to Firefly, and I'm sure that you're going to ask me some questions.
Oh, yeah.
Is that it's a platform where you get to see the impact.
Mm-hmm.
So the organisations that become part of that community, I know, also focused on that as being a core value. So that's really important for me. Being on the coast for the last 6 years, I've mostly worked in volunteering environments that focus on mental health, youth, homelessness, and planet.
Right.
And I've worked as a conduit between lots of organisations, and I've also worked with the organisations directly to provide my skill sets pro bono.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that be from marketing or strategies, to come in and help them, because I understand that volunteering organisations don't always have the expertise. They are led by heart, and I'm very lucky through my sort of professional career to have picked up those skills that now I can give back. So it's not always, being the one at the sausage sizzle.
Yeah, sure.
It's a lot of the work behind the scenes to help them sort of tell their story.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's a very humble explanation of what you do, but nonetheless. And now, and you're also in the social enterprise space.
Yep.
And I know, because we've been involved in that, and some of the work you do there is incredible.
Thank you.
So how do you see then, knowing a little bit about the Firefly platform and our goal to elevate volunteers, what do you see as a upside to the Firefly platform?
Yeah, cool. Firefly is really interesting actually, because I guess in the early days when we had this conversation, there's always been this battle between people giving or people being of service and not expecting anything in return, or not wanting anything in return. But at the end of the day, we're all human, so recognition is,
Sure.
let's be honest, like, we do want to get a pat
We
on
do,
the back.
yeah, it's nice, right?
we do want to be recognised, and I think for me as well, through my journey, it was also just recognising that it wasn't to be self-recognised. It was for volunteers as a whole to be recognised, because they're individuals who give back in terms of time and money. And so the platform, or Firefly platform, is a really good way for volunteers to feel like they are seen, because the more hours they do, the more that they are recognised. And they're recognised in a way in which it isn't sort of self-centred, that they're getting a certificate to say, you've done a good job, or a trophy to say, you're Volunteer of the Year. You're being recognised by being provided with opportunities that make life a little bit easier. So, some of the companies that are on there that provide reward, they're things you use in your day-to-day life. So, for anyone who's shopping at certain outlets or being or going to get services from somewhere, to get a little bit of a discount or a little bit of reward is really beautiful. And I think the platform itself is I guess somewhere where you understand which businesses in your local community care about doing good.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really easy for an individual to recognize, hey, I might shop here, or hey, these people care, so therefore that's my bank of choice, or you sort of navigate, and that's something in every day that we generally don't have time to do.
Sure.
So from that perspective, it makes it really easy from a corporate partnership perspective. Also, I think it allows you to find out more about the charities that are in your local area, because again, that can be quite difficult, especially when they're micro enterprises.
Yeah.
And so they aren't usually the ones that you'll see splashed around social media, but they're the ones that you can help on an ad hoc basis, because they don't require you to sort of be locked in. So again, giving recognition to the organisations. And then the volunteers. Now, I've been running a volunteer organisation for 5 years, and retention is one of the hardest things.
Sure.
Because everybody wants to give, and they'll give for a little, and then as soon as they feel like they're not being recognised, or there's too much pressure on them, or there's a number of different reasons, they jump out of that environment. And it's a really weird one from looking at it from like a psychology perspective to get right. But I think platforms like Firefly allow you to go in, do your volunteering, be rewarded, pop out for a little bit if you are, but there's always that connection to go back. And it might be to go back to do something different, but you know that every time you go back, you're accumulating hours that you're going to have reward for. And I think that it's not a selfish thing, because that reward isn't quick fix. It's not you go and do it now and then you get rewarded.
Sure.
You accumulate your reward. So I think from a retention perspective, it just allows the volunteer to feel seen and recognised without that pressure being on the organisation itself as well. So it alleviates the pressure for them. I definitely know that I have felt that way. So I think moving forward, it allows community members to be a part of something bigger. And I would also like to think that if there aren't individuals that volunteer with the charity long term, and they're sort of discovering a charity, sort of putting in their hours, reaping reward, that they also get to meet other individuals within the community who volunteer.
Yeah.
And I know someone who was new to the coast 6.5 years ago now. That's probably one thing I did really look for. I wanted to meet people who, I hate the term like-minded, but they were heart-driven as well, so they could work in a job, or they could run their own business, but they liked to give back. And I think that's just really important. And I think Firefly kind of ticks all the boxes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So listen, because you're a guru and a legend, and your heart is in the right place for community and for good, if any of our volunteers needed some of your expertise, how would they get a hold of you? How could they reach out?
Yeah, so my full name is Candice Jade Olivia, which is a bit of a mouthful, but I'm across all social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Otherwise, you could just contact Daryl.
Yeah, you could.
And,
or you could go to Beyond Forward,
yeah,
which is the social enterprise that Candice runs, which is fantastic. I've been involved in that now from the get-go.
So Beyond Forward is a good one. So Beyond Forward is it's an in-person environment at this stage, moving into the online space for individuals that have an idea that could shape the world to be better, business idea to do good that will generate profit. So we kind of navigate a little bit in the non-for-profit space, because I do believe that organisations need to be socially enterprising. So social enterprise focuses on one, profit, but what you do with those profits. And so, that platform for anyone that's sort of got an idea that thinks, that's something that could change the world, it's a good place to start to get a number of resources and meet other people. So that's there, but also volunteering, people that are curious about volunteering or unsure what it means to be a volunteer.
Give it a go, eh?
So I think that's a big question. I think in the volunteering space, especially, I think over the last couple of years, I focused on, working with the younger demographic, So trying to get people from, say, 18 to 30 to volunteer and give back some time. And one thing I love doing is going into organisations that have young people and encouraging them to use those opportunities more as team bonding exercises.
Sure.
And also just amongst mates. We've got a really beautiful charity that we helped out on the weekend here on the coast called Surfing with the Disabled.
Right.
And it's 3 hours of your Sunday morning once a month, and you can grab your mates, you go out, you work with the disabled young people, take them out on these surf rafts, and it just changes your whole mindset, not only for the day but for the whole week. Because you're humbled, you're grateful, you've done something good, and it's such a good thing to do with your mates, even if you want to go for a coffee breakfast afterwards.
Sure.
So I think that the more we lean into volunteering and doing good, having a look at opportunity to feel reward, the world will just be better.
Yeah. And on the business side, relative to the platform, you mentioned earlier that it's great that the volunteers get to know who it is in the community.
Yeah.
One of the things that we really strive to achieve was to make sure that it was, really frictionless for small businesses to be able to say thank you to volunteers by jumping on the platform. What would your commentary, recommendation, advice to the local small businesses that are looking to increase their turnover and their growth in relation to our platform as well? Any thoughts?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Yeah, I'll throw you under the bus. That one.
Yeah, it's not really throwing me under the bus. I think, especially in Australia, we have a big issue with tall poppy syndrome. So small business owners don't necessarily like to be in the spotlight and put their hand up to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, I'm doing good. Or maybe at this point in time, I don't have the financial capacity to give back.
Yep.
But we're willing to assist and help out where we can. And I think for small business owners, my biggest advice is not to put a glass ceiling on what you think the platform can do. It's to get in contact and see where you could be placed right now.
Sure.
Because if you are a business owner, and I say this, that you need to be genuinely heart-led and not sort of be there because you think it will just be good for marketing. The universe doesn't work like that anyway. You have to be intentional. And I think that if you're a small business owner who has good intentions, wanting to do good and to connect with the community, don't think that you can't, just because you can't financially give now. You can be recognised as someone who has intentions to do good, and you can put your hand up to say, what can I do right now? And you'll be recognised for that. And I think that, every business owner has to start somewhere.
Sure.
One, it is definitely good for their brand because they get to be seen to be in that space. But it also allows, especially local communities, wherever the business owners are, it allows people to know who they are. And generally in the small business space, it's not who you are as a brand, but who you are as a business owner, because your heart and values is going to be the foundation for what you do. And people will navigate towards that doing good, being led with heart and purpose and passion and giving back, and they will be more inclined to be supportive.
Nice. So, I know that you deal in lots of different areas in the volunteering space. So, just to wrap up, on a holistic basis, your goal for volunteering, do you have one?
Personally, or what I would like to see in the volunteering
as a general for the volunteer community.
So for volunteer community, I would love to see more individuals tell the story of their volunteering journey. For example, if we have someone in the community that's in their 20s, that for whatever reason, most people get into the volunteering space because they've had a certain experience and they would like to sort of nurture others in that space. But tell the story. I think sometimes in the young people, they feel like they're going to be judged for going to do good. They're going to be judged for saying, hey, I volunteered on the weekend, or they're going to be judged for, taking a picture and putting it on a social media platform to say, oh, I just dropped off groceries at a homeless outreach centre. And I would really, like in the volunteering, I'd like to see that shifted, because it isn't about getting the recognition, how many likes or how many comments you can get. It's about telling the story that it's a good thing to be doing.
Yeah.
And it isn't so that you can get a pat on the back and say, oh, you're a good human, therefore, you know, you're going to get this social recognition. But it's the storytelling of, it doesn't matter where you are in life, whether you are in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s, you don't need to be retired to go and volunteer or go and do something good. You know, it could be as simple as you do your weekly groceries and you buy an extra couple of little bits because you know there's an outreach centre that, you know, provides meals to those in need on a Tuesday night and you drop them off.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good and you're doing something good. I don't understand this resistance in the younger demographic because they are doing good things and they do think good. They do think about doing good things.
Yeah.
And I think it's just putting that into action and telling the story to inspire others in your environment or your mates. And I think in sort of that sort of section, I'd love to see more younger people in their friendship groups or community groups, sports groups, actually take action and actually think about something that they can do. Yeah. Maybe it's only once every 2 months, once every 3 months. You know, that they can invite maybe individuals with intellectual disabilities or physical disabilities to come and join them in an activity.
Sure.
And you know, if they reached out to organisations, they would be more than happy. I know there's a lot of red tape and there's a lot of tick boxes you've got to go through, but it's generally once you've done it, you're in.
Yeah.
You know? And you're genuine about providing a safe space. And I think that people don't give enough recognition of the impact those small little things can have on someone's life.
Yeah.
And give recognition of how it makes you feel, because it changes the way you see the world and you become a better friend, a better partner, a better colleague, because you're operating from a heart space.
Yeah.
You know? You're seeing us all as one and you're doing your part. And your part, as I said, it could be 1 hour a month.
Sure.
But that 1 hour has profound impact in the community. So, you know, on top of that, with not only the young people, I understand people with families are busy. You know, do more family activities that involve your, you know, young kids to go and help. You know, just before Christmas, I was involved in doing a big luncheon for individuals that are homeless or low socioeconomic, and it was so beautiful to see young children, 5, 6 years old, you know, behind the table there dishing up peas and potatoes and you know, because the individuals receiving were thankful, and children bring light into people's life, you know. So it isn't the case of having to, you know, keep them safe and keep them away from that so that they don't see the real world. It's allowing them to have the opportunity to be grateful for what they have from an early age, because not everybody is that lucky. And getting involved as a family, utilising family time to do good.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple of mantras at Firefly, which is, you know, it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. And doing good is always good. So, and you're the epitome of both of those. So thanks for what you do. On behalf of everyone at Firefly and our Firefly volunteer community, you're awesome. As Candice said, you know, like when you think about it, there's 5.9 million volunteers in Australia and they're all doing something every day. So there has to be some amazing stories, even if it's 1% of the 5.9 million doing amazing things. So please reach out if you know someone that's awesome, if you know a guru, if you know a local legend like Candice in your community. We'd love to hear their story as well. So please feel free, get in touch. You can do that via our email, via the website, as you know, we do all the social plugs now from Firefly. We're on all the social platforms as well. You can reach out, and you know how to get in touch with us anyway. So listen, thanks for joining us. Candice, thank you so much for stopping by so early in the morning to have a chat and a coffee. And
cheers.
Yeah, cheers. And keep doing all the awesome things you're doing.
Thank you, Daryl.